right, shalom, most high in Christ bless. Welcome to another Sabbath class, brothers and sisters. We are on a special location today, but as y'all know, we Israelite saints of Christ. I'm Brother Benaniah, my armor bearer to my left,
Counselor Sirach.
and my armor bearer to my right.
Counselor Hushai.
And in our classes, we cover topics of the Bible that explain all aspects of our life, how we should walk, talk, and be in the spirit and truth of the Most High and of Christ. We have no doubt that this Bible points us all to the lineage of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans by our blood, make up the 12 tribes of the children of Israel from the curses that it reads in Deuteronomy chapter 28. So take this journey with us as we explore the truth of the Bible in obtaining the kingdom of God. Thank you all for joining us today and tuning in today. Now, today's topic is deep visions. Deep visions. Yes, very, very deep visions that we're going to be discussing over this class. All right. Now, if you've been on class with us, you know we split the class up into portions. So grab your Bibles, your apocryphas, your pens, your pencils, your notebooks, because we're going to be starring, circling, putting stars next to scriptures that make an impact to the title. Make it a little bit easier for you to go back and study on. Okay. Now, just a thought. When you think of a vision, right? When you think of a vision, when you think of something being told to you, a vision of any sort of that nature, right? Who is the vision for? Who is the vision for? And why? Why are you receiving this vision? Why are you receiving these things, right? Can it be explained? Oh my goodness. How many times have you received the vision that you cannot explain? How you know you can't explain? Because you wake up or you snap out of it and you're like, well, what was that? What am I doing? Very interesting, isn't it? But who can understand it? Who can understand it? Let's break down a vision. All right. This vision that we're going to be breaking down, I gave you guys as a homework assignment last week. This homework assignment is talking about 2nd Ezra chapter 10. So in this first segment of class, it's called Seeing is Believing. Seeing is believing. We're going to start off at 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 1.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Let's go.
And it so came to pass that when my son was entered into the wedding chamber, he fell down and died.
It says, and it so came to pass. Well, and it so came to pass means that it already happened. This vision that is being told of future events that already happened. Future events that already happened. What future events that already happened that it looks like, wait, this has already happened, but we're in this present time now? Well, remember when Moses was on the mount, who came and visited him? I'm going to leave that up to y'all. Who came and visited him? From that present time with the Christ, who came and visit Moses when he was on his present time? So right here, it's saying, and it was so. It came to pass that when my son, I want you guys to underline, and it so came to pass, and I want you guys to underline my son, was entered into the wedding chamber, fell down and died. Very interesting. Very interesting. Whose son are we talking about here? What are we talking about? The son. And being already married, wait. Because in the wedding chamber, you already got married. I'm going to leave that up to y'all. Verse 2.
Verse 2. Then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest until the second day at night.
It says, and then we all overthrew the lights. Underline overthrew the lights. What is that talking about? What is that talking about? And all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest unto the second day at night. Hold that. Give me Acts chapter 20 and verse 7. Acts chapter 20 and verse 7. Because they overthrew the lights. They overthrew the lights. Acts chapter 20 and verse 7.
Acts chapter 20 and verse 7. And upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them ready to depart on the morrow, and continue his speech until midnight.
He continued his speech until midnight, right? So this is explaining upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow. And he continued his speech until midnight. Next verse. Watch
Verse
this.
8. And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together.
All right. So now when we see overthrew the lights, because I know what y'all thinking, they overthrew the lights. That's knowledge that they overthrew. No, this is talking about they're in the wedding chamber. In Acts chapter 20 and verse 8, it says, and there were many lights in the upper chamber. There were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. These lights is the lights to see. These are the lights to see. Go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 3.
2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 3. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet, then rose I up by night and fled, and came hither unto this field, as thou seest.
It says, and it came to pass, when they all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. Then I rose up by night and fled, and came hither into this field, as thou seest. Okay, so what are we reading about? What are we reading about? Just a little quick recap. So, and it so came to pass when my son was entered into the wedding chamber. So wait, when it's saying my son, this is talking about a lady here. A lady is explaining to Ezra, talking to Ezra about her son dying at the wedding chamber, right? Y'all all still with me? Okay. So now we're reading, and she's reading and saying, hey, when he died, we overthrew the lights. We were sad. So it says in verse 3, in 2nd Ezra 10 and 3, it says, and it came to pass, when they all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. They that left off to comfort me is everyone that was around this wedding. Everyone that was around this wedding. Giving y'all little clues and hints. To the end I might be quiet. Underline, I might be quiet. Then rose I up by night and fled, and came hither into the field, as thou seest. So just as you hear, Ezra, it's just as I came to you. All right? Just as I came to you. But what I have you to underline, I might be quiet. What is that talking about? He controlled. It just was a control of sadness. Okay? When things happen, some people go crazy, they go ballistic. But when it says I might be quiet, it's saying that she controlled herself in the sadness. In the sadness, she controlled herself. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And I do now propose not to return unto the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die.
It says, and I do now purpose not to return into the city. What city is it talking about? But to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but to continually to mourn, to fast until I die. Well, wait a minute. Why is she not going back into the city? What is that talking about? Because she's at a wedding, but she's saying she's not going back to the city. Hold that. Give me Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. Why is she not going back to the city? What is going on in the city? Luke chapter 21 and verse 20.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. When ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. This lady said, and I do now purpose not to return to the city. Because why? In Luke chapter 21, verse 20, it says, Jerusalem compassed with armies. Know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Verse 21.
Verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Whoa, wait a minute. It says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And wait, it says, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. So when you leave and you see these armies, don't come back. Don't come back in here. Verse 22.
Verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
That all things are written may be fulfilled. So just as much as you are reading this vision, all things are already fulfilled. Everything is already fulfilled. Wait, this is before the desolation of Israel, and they're going to try to take the temple again. This is before that. So now you're seeing a vision of the future. You're seeing a vision of the future. This is what we're reading about. Now go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 5.
2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 5. Then left I the meditation wherein I was, and spake to her in anger, saying.
Wait, why did Ezra left off the meditations? Ezra is in that field. He was in that field and he was meditating. He got a vision. The Lord showed him a vision. I don't know if y'all seen oh man, I forgot the movie. I think it was The Mummy 2. All right, The Mummy 2, I think it came out like 2002 or something like that. Well, the boy had an amulet on his arm, right? And he couldn't take it off. It couldn't come off, right? He had an amulet on his arm. And when he did this with his arm, it showed the vision. And the vision was of the future. But when he was shown, when that vision came from that amulet, he was engulfed in that vision. Just as much as Ezra's engulfed in the vision. That's why he's in anger. He's in anger, right? Next verse.
Verse 6. Thou foolish woman, above all other, seest thou not our mourning, and what happened unto us?
What happened unto us? Why is he saying foolish woman? Above all other, seest thou not mourning in our mourning? Why are we in our mourning? Something has happened that made us in our mourning. This has happened to us, not to everybody. This has happened to us. Verse 7.
Verse 7. How that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness, and much humbled, mourning, very sore.
Oh, how that Zion, our mother, is full of heaviness. I want you guys to underline full of heaviness. Why are we in full heaviness? And much humbled. Why? Because things has happened to us that has humbled us down. Because you can't be proud. You can't be, oh, I'm this and that, when we done been brought down to the lowest estate that we are in now. Right? Now we underline full of heaviness, right? Verse 8. Watch this.
Verse 8. And now, seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness, art thou grieved for one son?
Wait a minute. So Ezra is talking to this lady, and this lady talking to him, and you not mourning. What's going on? And now, seeing we all mourn, I want you guys to underline that. And are sad. Underline sad. For we are all in heaviness. Art thou grieved for one son? One son. I know it's to start. This to start to click in your mind. What's going on? Hold that. Give me Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 10. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 10.
The book of Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 10. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplication, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourned for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn.
Oh, so wait, it says we underline full of heaviness. We underline seeing we all mourn. We underline sadness. Zechariah 12 and 10. It says, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplication, and they shall look upon me, whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourning for his only son. Remember, we was reading about the only son, right? And shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness of his firstborn. Oh, my goodness. This is saying a lot here, but this is clearing up. Wait, why are we in heaviness? Why are we all in mourning? Why is she not in mourning? Verse 11. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 11.
Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 11. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadaderim in the valley of Megiddon.
All right, so it says, in that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadaderim, in the valley of Megiddon. Hadaderim is a town in the valley of Megiddo. The valley of Megiddo. That's where Armageddon is going to happen. That's why it's going to be much sadness there. That is a valley in Megiddo. Now, let's go back. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 9 now.
2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 9. For ask the earth, and she shall tell thee, that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her.
It says, for ask the earth, and she shall tell thee, that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. Now, we know that the Most High said in Genesis that we was formed from the dust of the ground. That's why we was formed from the dust of the ground, from the earth, right? We was formed from it. When we pass, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, we go back to the earth, right? And our spirit goes with the Most High. But wait a minute. Give me Revelations. Give me Revelations chapter 12 and verse 16.
Revelations chapter 12 and verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Oh, so wait. In 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 9, ask the earth, and she shall tell thee. But why is Ezra is saying, wait, ask the earth, and she shall tell thee that it is she that ought to mourn? Why? When we go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 16, it says, and the earth helped the woman. The earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, swallowed up the lies against the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. The earth swallowed it up and cast out the dragon out of his mouth, right? Now, go back. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 10 now.
2nd Ezra chapter 10, verse 10. For out of her came all at the first, and out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all into destruction, and a multitude of them is utterly rooted out.
I want you guys to underline, for out of her came all at the first. Out of all came out of her. And out of her shall all others come. And behold, they walk almost all in destruction, and a multitude of them utterly rooted out. Just like I said, just like in Genesis 2 and 7, we was formed from the earth, we came from the earth. But guess what? Our offspring, all the offspring is walking in destruction. Because why? Because of sin. Because sin is now present. Now we're walking in destruction. Now you're born into sin. Who taught the baby how to lie? Who taught you how to steal? Do these things. Now we're born in it. And the multitude of them is utterly rooted out. Why is the multitude of them utterly rooted out? Well, it's only going to be 144 that make it out. That's all that's making it out of the righteous men. Now let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 11 now.
2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 11. Who then shall make more mourning than she that hath lost so great a multitude, and not thou, which art sorry but for one?
You only sorry but for one. But Ezra is seeing this vision, and he's telling this lady, saying, look, man, you should be just as much as in mourning as I am, because I'm seeing these things and I'm just as much as in mourning. I see what's going on, but I'm just as much as in mourning. But you only sorrow for one? You lost one son. Why is that? Due to sin and the captivity. We lost so many. We lost so many. That's why he's telling her that. Wait, we done lost great of a multitude, but you only crying for one. You only in mourning for one. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Y'all just be patient with me. Be patient. Next verse.
Verse 12. But if thou sayest unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bear with sorrows.
Oh, with pains, and I bear with sorrows. Read that one more time. I just want y'all to listen up.
Verse 12 in 2nd Ezra chapter 10. But if thou sayest unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth, because I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains and bear with sorrow.
Man, this is so much in this verse. But if thou sayest unto me, my lamentation is not like the earth, because I have lost the fruit of my womb. I want you to underline fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with pains. Underline pains and bear with sorrows. Underline pain and bear with sorrows. What is going on in this verse? Why are they going back and forth saying, wait, but if you tell me your lamentation is not like the earth's, why is it a difference? That's what's being asked here. Well, Christ is our first fruits. That's why it's the fruit of my womb. That's talking about the Christ. Also, in the pains, Christ came in our captivity, which was the pains. How did he bear sorrows? Bear with sorrows. Bear with sorrows because Christ gave his life up. That's what's going on in this verse. Now, verse 13.
Verse 13. But the earth not so, for the multitude present in it according to the course of the earth is gone, as it came.
But the earth not so, for the multitude present in it according to the course of the earth is gone, as it come. So just as much as everything is happening in the earth, everybody is doing their thing, everybody is sinning, some people being righteous. This is going on in the earth. This is what she's telling him. But according to the course of the earth is gone, as it come. So just as you came, just as much as you leave. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Then say I unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even so the earth also hath given her fruit, namely men, ever since the beginning unto him that made her.
It says, then say I unto thee. Then I'm going to tell you, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even so the earth hath given her fruit, namely man, ever since the beginning unto him that made her. So the Most High created the earth for our sakes. The earth was created for our sakes. So just as much as she's going into pains and labor and things, it's just as much as the earth came in pains and labors. I'm not going to go into it. That's going off on another little tangent. But the earth came forth with pains and labor. Just know that. All right. Verse 15.
Verse 15. Now therefore keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear with a good courage that which have befallen thee.
Now, therefore, keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear with a good courage that which had befallen thee. So we're supposed to, what we're reading thus this far, we're reading Ezra has been taken to a field. Ezra's been shown a vision. Most High showed him a vision. He was in a meditation kind of spirit. He was shown a vision, right? And he was taken back, and he was showing that the Most High is going to show him some things. And the things that he's going to show him, the lady came up and started talking with Ezra. Right here, they're going back and forth. But he's telling her, have much more sorrow for everything that's going on. And she's saying, I'm having sorrow for my one child. Verse 16.
Verse 16. For if thou shalt acknowledge the determination of God to be just, thou shalt both receive thy son in time, and shalt be commended among women.
Oh, it says, for if thou shalt acknowledge the determination of God. I want you guys to underline the determination of God. To be just, to be righteous, right? Thou shalt both receive thy son in time. Both? Receiving son? What? We was only having one son that passed, right? And shalt be commended among women. We're going to get to this answer. But when I had y'all to underline determination of God, what is the determination of God?